I'm trying to stay present because that alarm starts going off. It's been a really long day. I'm like mentally dead. It's just like I don't want to think about anything. But then I got to keep fighting this battle because if I don't, I'm going to lose myself and everything I love.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Men, Real Talk. This is the place where we have uncomfortable conversations in the world's most comfortable underwear. More on that later with a coupon code.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah. I am joined by Tilghman. Say hi to the people, Tilghman.
Hi to the people.
Sweet. This week's episode is going to be about self-deception. All right. So last week's episode was about higher desires. What are we reaching for truly when we reach for something that is actually not good for us? And if you want to watch that episode, you can do it. Click it somewhere here. I'll link it for you guys. Might link it in the video description. That might be helpful for you all. And guys, if you've been loving the content, subscribe. We would love to have you along for the ride. We have so much fun with these conversations, and we'd love to hear your comments too. I'm not kidding. Put in the comments something that you want to talk about. On with the episode. So, self-deception. We're going to kind of set the stage for you that we do not see the world as it is, but rather we see the world as we are. That's sort of the setup for us, okay? The contention of that quote is that all of us see the world through a lens. You have certain lived experience. I have certain lived experiences. Tilghman does too, where when we see a situation or we look back into our story, we interpret it some way. Now, some people will try to basically make the argument that, no, I'm seeing this 100% correctly. And if you've ever seen movies where it's taken from multiple vantage points, in fact, I think there's a movie called Vantage Point where it tells the same story 7 different ways, you'll realize that just because you're seeing your side accurately, there may be more to the story that you don't know. So wanted to do something kind of fun, all right? Going to share the screen, and we're going to pull up some pictures and give some examples of this. All right, we'll start with a simple one. This one could look like a pretty lady looking away from you. Like you see, there's her hair. She's wearing a hat. She's got a little feathers. If you look at it a different way, this could be an old babushka woman. So there's her eyes right there. There's her nose. There's her mouth. So just really simple examples of how we can see things 2 different ways. Here's another one for us. Tilghman, you set us up. How do you see this image? What's the story you tell?
I can see an exhausted man who's been working all day, but a wife that's upset that he still hasn't done enough at home, or upset because he might have done something or stayed too late at work when he said he'd be home, or he might have been drunk too. You never know.
Let's see. When I first saw this image, I saw a man possibly on his deathbed. He's got scarlet fever and he just got home from work, but he's also sick and he's trying to provide for the family, and she doesn't know what's gonna happen. Let's pull up this next one. Tilghman, what do you see here?
I see a grandfather wanting to give his grandson some kind of blessing, or just caress his cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Or just show him some kind of form of love because his grandson doesn't look well.
Mm. Okay. Let's see. Me, I could see it as somebody being a little bit of a creeper.
Yeah.
That's my chest tightened up a little bit when I first saw that. But then if I look at it a little bit longer, being a dad, I see my little boy sleeping, and he's gone to sleep, and I just want to give him a little kiss on his cheek because he's, had a hard day, and I just want to tell him that I love him. So guys, that's just a bit of an experiment for you to take yourself through, because we need to realize that every single one of us on this earth has a perception of how the world is. No matter how right we think we are, we can misjudge a situation. So bringing that into the title of this episode, self-deception, we're going to tell some stories of how we try to justify things to ourselves to give ourselves a pass so that we can continue doing behavior that we know is not good for us. But hey, it's blah, 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 blah. Tilghman, just because I've been talking more than you so far, how about you start us off? Because I think that's what the people want. People want more Tilghman.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Chris. I know your fan club is pretty large yourself. So it was really cool to kind of think, and I've been thinking a lot since we started the conversation, even before the call, about self-deception. One of my biggest things is I remember this time specifically when I was a teenager, and little did I know it would become a problem, but drinking alcohol and stuff is, can that is a problem for me, right? And but I remember I went out to a party, I got really messed up with my friends, and the next morning we had football workouts. But wait,
No. Oh, no.
it was the literal best workout I have ever had in my life, and I don't know if it was because I don't know, but I just remember, like, slamming a bunch of Powerade before the workout and, like, getting my electrolytes back up and trying to hydrate.
Uh-huh.
It's, like, the worst way to hydrate, you need to do it slowly, but I was just doing all that, and I don't know if it was from, like, being hungover or being still drunk, I don't know what it was, but it was, like, the best workout of my life. So fast forward, maybe, like, 7 or 8 years later, had some issues, started drinking a little heavier than one should be drinking, and I remember specifically going to a liquor store one time when I was, like, trying to slow down and stop and stuff like that. But I go in there and I'm walking around and I'm like, "I don't need to be here. Let's just go." My mind wanted it, but my heart didn't. So I kinda got that twinge feeling. I know you know what that is, Chris. I ended up buying, like, I don't know, a lot, but I remember the justification being, you can work out really hard when you can't feel anything.
Really?
Yeah, and so and so I leave the liquor store, I go home, I do my thing. The next morning, I didn't wake up and work out because it was just my body was 10 years older. I don't know what it was, maybe what I was drinking, but that was when I realized you deceived yourself. And so it was like one of those V8 commercials. Could have had a V8 kind of moment where you get slapped in the front of the head. What were you thinking, man? You thought you could work out being hungover or drunk? No way. So that's a prime example from my life that just came to mind. Just like deceiving myself. And
Mhm.
other occasions have happened, but that's just like one of the big ones that I was just like, okay, buddy, you weren't thinking too well there, were you?
So self-deception for me. A couple of years ago, I got fired from my job. Like, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I got let go. No, I got fired. And when I got fired, it wasn't done very well. However, as the years have passed, I've seen more and more like why they fired me. So now working at Real Men, it's a pretty fast-paced environment. You need to you need to just like produce something. And so me, I'm into like graphic design, video, photos. I have a really hard time producing C grade content. I can produce A grade content, but it takes me forever. And that's a problem. And what I love about Jared is he's so just like quick on his feet. He's very tenacious with his desire to get stuff done,
Yeah.
and he actually doesn't mind if it's C, B level. He's just like, let's just get it out there.
Yep.
And man, I really need to hear that.
Yeah.
And I thought back in the day when I was getting fired, it's like, man, this is unjustified. I mean, sure, I got this problem and that problem, but no, like I'm a killer content creator. Yeah, if you want the project to take forever, I'm a killer content creator, but they needed content faster. Looking back at it now, because my way of seeing the world has changed,
Mhm.
I think they were right. They were right to fire me. And even back then, I kind of had an inkling that they were probably right. Still don't agree with how it happened. It was extremely sudden. I felt like there wasn't much of a conversation that happened. But hey, maybe in their eyes, I was past the point of conversation. It's very possible. So I'm not gonna judge there.
So you lived through that experience, and as you got older, you started to look at it differently because your view of the world changed. So it's cool
Mhm.
to see that happen within people that you love and even within yourself. Like, hey, maybe I was in the wrong there. Like, hey, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. And like I realized where I messed up. I realized where I deceived myself. I think wrapping all that in, I've created something within me to where like I constantly have to work on being present because my mind would always check out when I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. And I feel like that's where a lot of my self-deceiving has come from when I'm just in autopilot. And so I fight every single day to stay in the present moment to where if that opportunity arises to where I'm going to be deceiving myself or deceiving somebody else, but most importantly myself, I'm aware of it. I've got like a tornado siren going off. That's just something that I've picked up through my experiences, just trying to stay more present and there's going to be
Mhm.
less deceiving going on.
Mhm. So the warning light for you is if you notice you're not being present, then you need to slow down, like hit the brakes, rethink and come back in.
I've talked to you about it before, but there's been times where, like, the liquor store's right by my house. So
Mm.
there's times where I'll be driving home or just on a walk, and I wanna make that turn into the parking lot. And dude, there's
Yep.
been times where I've gone into that parking lot, I did a half loop, and I got the heck out of there. And it's because
Mhm.
I was not present, but the time I decided to be present was, like, at the last minute. Now there's been times where I've slowed down, put on my blinker, and they kept on going straight, but it's because I'm trying to stay present because that alarm starts going off. It's been a really long day. I'm, like, mentally dead. It's just like, I don't wanna think about anything, but then, I gotta keep fighting this battle because if I don't, I'm gonna lose myself and everything I love. So it's like, you gotta quit deceiving yourself to be able to move forward and progress in life because
Mhm.
self-defeat deceiving is like spiritual suicide almost.
Yep. Man, I think that's a great place to end it. Before you guys go, code for the episode. Let's go with truth.
Truth. I like it.
So we should know the truth and the truth will set us free. So exercise for you guys this week. Maybe just do some inner work and let's just be really honest with ourselves.
Yes.
And oh man, such a great phrase that I heard from a good man was, it doesn't benefit you to lie to yourself. It just doesn't help. Like, yeah, maybe you get what you want in the short term. Maybe you get that 6-pack of beer. Maybe you get that comfortable feeling because you've been looking at explicit content. Maybe you feel good because you get that buzz from that illicit substance. Okay. But over the long term, that will come back to bite you
Yes.
and it will cost you.
I would say get disgustingly honest with yourself if you want to stop deceiving yourself.
We'll see you next week, guys. Love you. So, guys, we hope you loved this episode. Like, comment, yes, we do read them, and subscribe. We want to hear what you guys are thinking, and we'd love to maybe answer some of your questions and just kick it back and forth. We'll see you next time.